Here's a stat that's going to totally surprise you. Did you know that 60% of people that move to a new community completely underestimated three major aspects of their daily life that they had no idea what they were getting into? That means people are making some of the biggest decisions of their life. They're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even millions of dollars. They're uprooting their family, coming to a completely different area. They don't even know what they're fully signing up for. So in this video, we're going to talk about the true pros and cons of living here in Gig Harbor. My name is Darren Rivers. I am the Northwest Realtor and I am managing broker of the Rivers Group under the Real Broker LLC. We help literally hundreds and hundreds of families relocate to Gig Harbor. And in today's videos, we're going to really break down some of the pros and cons that our clients have experienced after they moved to Gig Harbor, some of the things that were pleasant surprises, and some of the things that caught them off guard. So we're going to explore both of those pros and cons. And for me personally, I've lived here 30 years. So I've got 30 years of experience and I've got a lot of pros, I've got a few cons, and it's really, you got to make the pros cons list to see if this is the right spot for you. And before we dive into the true pros and cons, I have a list of 5, but before we dive into those, I want to be really straightforward and honest with you. I really love living in Gig Harbor. A lot of people really do. I've lived here for over 30 years. I moved here from Southern California and I love it. There's no place that I would rather live at this point in my life anyway. And a lot of people feel that way. The ones that get caught off guard are the ones that aren't fully aware of everything that they're getting into. And whenever those surprises come up that aren't very pleasant, they seem to sting a little bit more. So people think of Gig Harbor and they think of this lovely place. They think of an affordable place of living. They think of the sense of community. They think of the natural beauty we have all around us. And all of that stuff is absolutely fantastic. But a few of the things that if you're not prepared for come up and bite you, it puts a negative spin on everything. So I just want you to have your eyes wide open and see what a great place this really is, with also knowing some of the cons that come with it. Okay, let's get into absolutely what is number one as far as the pro-con list. And you know what? It's the same subject on both sides, a pro and a con, and that is the weather. Okay, so let's start with the con. It's gray. It's just gray a lot, especially October to kind of April, May. It's gray. Now we get 46 inches a year of rain, which is actually less than Boston, less than New York, less than Dallas, less than Miami, but they get it in torrential downpours, and then they have sunny weather. We're gray a lot. I mean, shoot, we're in May right now, and look, it's gray, it's cloudy. There's actually a couple little drizzles coming down. So here in the wintertime, it's just kind of wet, and that gets depressing for people. They just, they want to see sun, and from October to, mid-May, it's gray off. Also, we're pretty far north in the country, obviously, so our days are short in the wintertime. It is dark at 4:30, 5 o'clock. I mean, it's pretty dark and it doesn't really get light till about 8 a.m. So our days are definitely shorter. It's not Alaska short, but our days are definitely shorter. So not only are you dealing with the gray during the day, but then it's dark early. So you're driving to work in the dark and you're driving home from work in the dark. So that's kind of a bummer for sure. That it does affect some people. There's the thing called seasonal depression. It does affect some people here in the Pacific Northwest. Now let's flip this to the great side of it and the pro of the weather here in Gig Harbor, or the Pacific Northwest in general. So first of all, I talked about the winters. Yeah, is it kind of gray? Is it kind of wet? Does it kind of rain a little bit here and there? Yeah, but you know what? We don't freeze to death. We don't get -0 degrees or -5 degrees. We don't get below 0 ever. It's seldom below freezing. We only get a few snow days a year. It snows 3 or 4 inches and sticks around 3 or 4 days. It's really, really easy and it's pretty mild. I mean, in the wintertime, I just wear jeans and a sweatshirt and maybe a Gore-Tex coat if it's really wet outside. And that's really about it. We don't have to worry about plowing roads. You don't have to worry about putting chains on your car. We have very few snow days that affect the schools. It's just pretty mild. I'm a golfer. I play golf year-round up here. January, put on an extra layer and go hit the golf course. Now the summer, this is the best place on earth. It's about 80 degrees every single day. It's sunny just about every single day. We have no bugs. We have no humidity. It is so nice and mild. It is perfect for just being outdoors and you can be active. My house doesn't even have air conditioning for that matter. I mean, it's just so pleasant and nice and it cools off just enough at night. Throw on a little top, sit outside. You're not getting eaten alive by bugs. Those of you coming from the Midwest or the East Coast, you won't believe how great it is here in the summertime. And you know what? I don't go on vacation in the summertime. Living here in the summer is being on vacation. So with that great weather in the summer, it just gives you the opportunity to explore all the outdoor activities in a comfortable manner. You can go hiking and not sweat to death on the trail. You can go out on your paddleboard and not freeze to death in the water. Or you don't need to get in the water just to cool off. I mean, boating, fishing, mountain biking, everything. The outdoor activities here are fantastic and the weather is perfect to take advantage of all of it. Okay, number 2 on the pros and cons list of living to Gig Harbor, and it's again both. It's going to be both a pro and a con, and that is our location. And speaking of location, right here, this little QR code is our relocation guide to Gig Harbor. Make sure you download that so you can see all about our areas. But let's get into the pros and cons of where Gig Harbor is. Okay, so let's talk about the pro on the location side of things, and that is Gig Harbor is literally 90 minutes from anything that you would want to do. If you want big city activities, go to a game, go to the theater, it's less than an hour away to get to Seattle. If you are somebody that wants to travel a lot, need to get to the airport, it's about 45 minutes to the SeaTac airport. If you're a commuter and you're driving either up to Bremerton or over to Tacoma for work, it has really easy freeway access, and now we have the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, so you're not really running into that much traffic anymore. All these activities all around us, if you're an outdoorsy type person. We have 2 national parks within 90-minute drive, one over at the Olympic Park, if you're heading west, or you go east, so you hit Mount Rainier. So 2 national parks within 90 minutes of Gig Harbor. And we touched on this a little bit earlier about water activities. Well, just look behind me. Gig Harbor is literally located on the harbor, right here on the water. So if you're a water person, if you want to go fishing, if you want to go paddleboarding, kayaking, just sightseeing in a boat, anything like that, this is what you get. The location with this, the beauty around Gig Harbor is so perfect. I mean, it is perfect. So as far as location and the setting that we're in, it doesn't get much better. Okay, so let's talk about the cons about the location of Gig Harbor. And it really depends on what you're looking for. If you are a big city person, well, then this location probably isn't best for you. If you want to participate in city nightlife, if you want to go to the theater on a regular basis, if you want to hit professional sporting games on a regular basis, you got to go up to Seattle for most of those things. And that's, an hour drive. If you're just doing it a couple times a year, every few months, then it's no big deal. But if you want to hit some of those events on a weekly basis or more than once a week, it's a definite trip. It's a drive. It's a commitment to get up to Seattle that often. So if that isn't super convenient, that could be a con of living here in Gig Harbor. And another con of living here in Gig Harbor is we are at the mercy of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. And that's to access Tacoma, obviously, the airport, Seattle. Most people take the bridge, and there is a toll to take that bridge. It's if you have a good to go pass, which most of us residents do, it's $4.50 to cross the bridge. It's free to come back, but they charge you going over. So every time you cross that bridge to head over to the Tacoma side, you're getting charged for it. So that's kind of a con. If you lived on the other side of the bridge, you wouldn't have a bridge toll. All right, let's get into the third pro and con of living here in Gig Harbor. And we're going to start with the pro side again, because I like the positive spin, and that is our sense of community. Gig Harbor is like no other place that I have been a part of. We are so full of the sense of community here, and you can be involved as much as you want to have, or as much as you want to be, I should say. We have something really big every summer called the Maritime Festival. They literally shut down the entire street. There's a big parade that virtually everybody participates in one way or the other. Either they're in the parade, walking in it, or they're lying in the streets watching all of their friends go by. My kids used to ride unicycles in the parade. It was a whole lot of fun. Brings everybody out. You run into everybody that you know. It's a lot of fun. So the Maritime Festival is great. After the parade, they have all the vendors on the street, food trucks and beer gardens. And then the next day is a classic car show. It's a whole event. The other things that go along with that sense of community, obviously I highlighted the Maritime Festival, that's the big one, but we have regular things all the time. In the summer, we have the summer concert series right here at Scansey Park, where we are right next to right now. Every Tuesday night, there's a free concert in the park. People bring their lawn chairs, just set it out, listen to all the music, run into their friends and family. It's a great time to have. And in the same location on Thursdays in the summertime is the farmers market. So all the local growers bring out all of their organic things and their artwork and stuff like that. It's a really cool spot. It's really peaceful. And again, you just run into people that you know, gives us that real sense of community. There's the sip and stroll. There's all sorts of different activities. Restaurant week is another one where you can just go try all the different restaurants around. They give you little coupons for it. All of these things are available to everybody that wants to participate in them. So if you want that sense of community, if you want a place where you're likely going to run into somebody you know at the grocery store, at Home Depot, or the YMCA, Gig Harbor is a great spot for that because we're small enough that you probably will, and you can be, like I said, involved as much as you want. The flip side of that, the negative side of that, is you might always run into somebody you know. And sometimes people just want to be alone. They want to be left alone. They don't want necessarily anybody really knowing about what's going on in their life. Gig Harbor still has that small town feel. We have definitely grown. So we're bigger than we used to be, and it's not as impactful as it was. But in Gig Harbor, everybody knows everybody to one way or another. So just know that's kind of what you're getting in. Okay, so let's talk about the fourth section that we're on as far as pros and cons. And these are actually two different subjects now, okay? So the pros are going to be the schools, and the con is going to be the traffic around here. So let's start with the con, the traffic. We have grown, like I just mentioned. We have grown quite a bit over the last 20 years, and traffic has definitely increased. Now, a little backstory here. 20 years ago, we had one Tacoma Narrows bridge, and traffic was awful trying to get to Tacoma in the morning or trying to get back to Gig Harbor in the afternoon. Rush hour was just really, really bad. They built the second Tacoma Narrows bridge, totally rectified that until we grew so much now we have traffic actually in Gig Harbor, places that you never thought we would have it before. So we have a lot of roundabouts now. We have actually rush hour traffic in the afternoon. After you get over the bridge and you come into Gig Harbor, it slows down. Now, is it awful? No. Is it Los Angeles traffic? No. Is it Seattle traffic? No. But it definitely is a delay from what it used to be. And those people that have lived here for 30, 40 years, it's definitely impacted them. And they're like, oh, we're so crowded. There's so much traffic. It's worse than it was, but it's still relatively easy. All right, let's flip this now to the pro of Gig Harbor. And this is the fourth pro that we're talking about. And that is our school system. So it's called Peninsula School District. And we are in the top 10% of all school districts in the state when it comes to everything. Testing scores, graduation rates, GPAs, college entries, all of that stuff. We're in the top 10% for the whole state, which is fantastic. We have about 9,000 kids in our schools here in our public schools. There's 17 schools, 10 elementary schools, there's 4 middle schools, and there's 3 high schools. 2 would be Gig Harbor High School and Peninsula High School, which are much more the traditional type high schools. And then we have Henderson Bay, which is an alternative high school, much smaller, of course, but 3 total high schools here in Gig Harbor. Again, look at schooldigger.com. You can see all the rankings for yourself, top 10% in the entire state. All right, now we are on subject number 5 as far as the pros and cons. And guess what? It's a pro and a con, and that is the cost of living here in Gig Harbor. It depends where you're coming from. It really, really does. Our average home price is around $900,000 here in Gig Harbor. So if you're coming from Oklahoma, that's super expensive. If you're coming from Southern California, it's super cheap. So is it a pro or is it a con? Well, it's probably both. And if you want to get really ridiculous on housing costs, go to Southern California. Santa Barbara, the average price point right now is $2 million for a single family home. Average. Okay, folks, so we had a little snafu with some of the videos and the sound. So I'm doing 2 replacement clips right here. So they're going to pop up and it's going to look really weird because there's going to be the setting that I was in when I was doing the videos. And now a few days later, it's me coming in and redoing these 2 little clips in my car. Totally different outfit, totally different day. And I hope I remember exactly what I said. So bear with me on this one. Okay, so the first clip that all get messed up was we were talking about housing prices. Average cost of a house here in Gig Harbor versus on the east side, up in King County, the Bellevue, Kirkland area versus Santa Barbara, you know, things like that, versus any town USA where it's considerably less. So if you start looking at our average household income, our average household income here at Gig Harbor is $124,000 a year. To compare that, the average household income across the country is $83,000 a year. So, you know, do the math. Does an $83,000 a year equate equally to a $400 and some odd thousand price of a house versus $124,000 a year and an average of a $900,000 house? So to me, it seems like the cost of living as far as housing goes is at least a little bit higher here just based on those ratios. So just want you to be aware that while I mentioned before, it's cheaper to live in this area than some parts of the country, it's certainly more expensive than other parts of the country. Now let's get into taxes. And again, there's pros and cons for here, right? So Washington State currently today is one of 7 states without a state income tax. So that is a huge pro. The con is they're trying to change that. They have something implemented called the millionaire tax. Or if your household income is over $1 million starting 2029, you're going to get an income tax. My fear is if they start there, that's just going to graduate to other levels of income, and they're going to officially have a statewide state income tax. And we will no longer be one of 7 states without a state income tax. But up until right now, until currently, it's a very attractive place because there is no state income tax and only one of 7 states in the whole country have that. That's being fought in the courts. Who knows what's going to happen with it? But that's the plan, is to implement a millionaire state income tax. All right, I want to throw in another pro. So this is actually pro number 6, and I'm not even going to have a con with it. We're going to finish this on a high note. And that is Gig Harbor has grown enough that we have everything that you need here. Back in the old days, we used to have to drive across that god-awful Thomas single Narrows Bridge, sit in traffic just to go to Costco, just to get to Target, just to go to a hospital for healthcare. We've grown enough that we have all of those amenities now. We have a great hospital right here at St. Anthony's. We have Home Depot. We have Target. We have Costco. We have the YMCA. We have all of those things. So for your daily life and all the amenities that you may need, they are all here in Gig Harbor. You don't have to go anywhere anymore, and that is a huge pro. All right, guys, and this is my outro now. And again, this is one that got all messed up in my original video, at least the audio. I don't know why, it just didn't come through. So anyway, that is the 5 pros and cons, or some of the 5 pros and cons. Dude, we could do a pros and cons list for, days and days and days. It's endless, but those are the 5 that I chose to do on this video. Again, if you have any questions about anything, please feel free to contact us. Our information is right here. The whole team and I are here, ready and able to be a resource for you. Also, we're going to re-put our QR code with the relocation guide and the neighborhood quiz. And keep watching the videos. Thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you on the next one.